back up on sunny Dartmoor this evening to do a bit about the van. I got a comment a few days ago on the kind of original van kind of tour or quick look at the van I did probably about 10 months ago now when I was in Scotland with it last year. And the kind of comment was right to the point, was simply how much did it cost to convert your van to the point it's at now. So I'm going to have a quick look at some of the stuff in the van. It's going to be quite interesting to me as well, this vlog, because I've not actually sat down and ever worked out how much it's actually cost me to convert this van. So it's going to be really interesting. So without delaying any more, I'll jump straight into it. So we bought the van in December 2016 and we paid 6,800 for it. Now it had done 96,000 miles I believe when we bought it. It needed a bit of bodywork doing, mainly a bit of rust on the arches, and also it had a very slight dent in the back the boot by the window and the tailgate, but nothing really that major for the age of the van. It also had some work done on it already to the inside, which was great. So it had the floor already been done, it'd already been lined, and it already had the two side windows and the back window fitted. So it already had a lot of the work done that I wanted. It also had these electric lights already put in, and we have kind of two sets, one here, one just behind me, with the switches, and they automatically come on when you open the doors as well. So it's been quite well put in. So it's 6,800 with that work done. So if I was to buy the van without that work, I'd probably be looking at spending around about 1,000 less, probably around about 5,800 or say 5,500. Generally speaking, to get the floor done, it lined, and the windows fitted, you're looking at spending around about 1,200, 12 to 1,400 anyway, really. Maybe a bit more if you're having the electric put in and the lights put in the ceiling. So really happy how it worked out with us buying it like that. So the basic van with that done cost us 6,800. What I'm going to do is, as I go through each thing and talk about it, I'm going to kind of add it to the list on the side of the vlog. I'm not going to be able to work out all the costing on the fly, so it'll give you kind of a tally of how much it cost me. Place where to start. So we'll start on the kitchen first, probably the most obvious thing in the van. These kitchen units cost me £450. They're flat packed, made of MDF, I think it's 10mm. These came from Plymouth. It came with the doors, the whole units, all the fitting hardware, hinges, everything. They also came with the overhead storage bit, and this unit here, which is meant to be a wine rack, although to be honest I use it more for books and cables and any old random thing we can fit on there really. Like I say, it came flat pack. You had to assemble it. I paid a bit more, so at the time you could get them slightly cheaper, but this one was semi-scribed in. So what I mean by that is the back of it wasn't dead square, it had been cut at a semi-accurate angle to fit in a T5. In the end it wasn't perfect, and I did have to scribe it anyway, but it just meant that when I was fitting it, I knew it was going to save me probably a good 2 hours work, and for paying an extra 60 quid to have one that's kind of semi-prescribed, I knew that was worth it. What you got to remember is when you're fitting these kitchens, if you make a big mistake, it can easily cost you more than the £60 you're going to save by scrimping out. So always kind of go for the one that you know you're going to fit better yourself, is my recommendation. The unit top didn't come with it, this beech top. I had to buy that additionally. This was £50. It was relatively cheap. It's a solid thick worktop beech, and I had to kind of route this to fit on top of the existing one. I like this kitchen unit because the kind of layout really. So we got 3 big cupboards down here which you can get a lot of stuff in. We also have this storage here, which if you've seen the vlog of the van tour in the past, which I'll link up now. I'll switch the light back on. Wrong one. Yeah, so if you see the vlog back in the past, this is our cool box. I've insulated it in here, so it does actually work quite efficiently, and it will take the temperature down about 20 degrees lower than the outside temperature. I'll link up to the vlog, like I say. You can have a look at that. You can have a look at our original van tour, which you did all that time ago. I also like the fact that it only has the kind of wardrobe storage up to here, which means when you're sat in this seat, you're working on your laptop, if you can't be bothered to get the table out, or if you just want more room, there's two of you for instance, you can sit here, you can eat your food off this one while the other person's on the table. It's quite a small table really. If we had the wardrobe unit, you would be quite cramped, you'd be sat like this, and I just don't think it really works. So I really like the layout of it. Anyway, that's the kitchen. The second big item is the bed, or the seat slash bed. Now this cost us £640. It was £500, but we decided to go for the headrests, which was £150 extra. Seems quite a lot, but I think it makes a massive difference because I can actually sit on this comfortably and have this bit, although it's not going to really allow me to rest my head on it, it does come most of the way up to my neck, which means it supports my higher back. So if I have an accident, I'm less likely to injure someone that's kind of sat in it. One, and the main reason is you can really like lean back and slouch in it, and I can't really do it with a hat on, but you can actually rest your head on it and relax, where as ones I've sat in the past that don't have that headrest, you are kind of almost having to support your head. You can't actually lean back in it as nicely. So definitely recommend them if you can stretch to it. Really happy with the bed. It came from RS Customs company in Wales, in South Wales, this one. Really happy with it. It's a steel frame, solid unit. Definitely worth it. You can pay crazy money for these beds. You can pay loads to get them crash tested and stuff like that. I will admit this isn't a crash tested one, but looking at the construction, and I have done engineering stuff in the past, it does look like a solid made unit, and it should survive. But it all depends on the peace of mind you want really. I will not ferry people on this on the motorway for any great distances. It's mainly going to be used for going around towns, for the simple reason that the front seats are safer, and for that reason I wouldn't really be using it. If it's essential you have people sat in it all the time on long journeys, I would recommend getting a crash tested one, but for what I'm going to use it for, it's absolutely fine. You can also pay crazy amount of money of these to have a comfortable bed. Now personally this thing's great, I don't have any issues with it. It's comfortable, it's solid, it doesn't rattle. I don't know why you pay any more really for it. Really happy with that. Back to the kitchen, one of the things I did forget is obviously the sink. This is a 922, a SMEV unit, and it's really good sink, really common in T5s, especially in this layout you'll see this sink a lot. Now you can generally get this sink on its own ranging from £200 to £240, and then you'll be paying another £20 for the £30 for the electric tap, which is here, and then all the other gubbins you'll need, like the gas pipe, the regulator for the gas bottle, various other things like that all add up, the electric water pump. You can get them in kits for around £300 or £280, which come with everything you need. I was very lucky with this one. It was a new unit that came in a van that somebody bought, a lot bigger than this. It was an LDV high top, and they were actually putting in a conventional normal kitchen sink. Didn't want it, took it out. It was brand new, but one of the glass tops was broken. Hence I managed to get this whole unit, the gas bottle, regulator, electric pump, electric tap, everything you need basically, for 100 quid. So this was a massive bargain. Granted, it's got a broken metal top this side, which is missing now, obviously it's been taken off, but I'm not that fussed. I can still put things on this side if I need to. I still get a decent workspace if I'm cooking, and it doesn't really bother me not having that kind of that one on top of the gas hobs. I'll probably end up breaking it anyway by shutting it when the gas is hot or something like that. Yeah, so that's that's the sink. I won't go into how much everything costs with it really. Like I said, that the electric pump's around about 30 quid, and the electric tap's 30 quid and stuff like that. But generally these things tend to be bought in kit form, so you get everything you need. Top tip, if you're buying a gas bottle, if you're going to Europe, buy camping gas, because you can get camping gas anywhere in Europe, and you can get them in a few places in England, or the UK should I say. If you are only going to use it in the UK, then probably get Cala gas. But a top tip, when you go somewhere, if you do not have a gas bottle, they will charge you, I don't know what it'll be, 50 quid, 40 quid for a gas bottle, and then they will fill it with gas. You can go online, buy the most rusty, awful looking gas bottle you can find second hand for a £5, even if it's got no gas in it. Take it in, and what they actually do is they part exchange it. They don't refill it, they swap it. So for 5 quid, you're getting a 40 quid gas bottle, whereas otherwise you're spending 40 quid to go in a shop and give it away to them to give you an old one anyway. So buy a second hand gas bottle, definitely, top tip there. So a few other things, electric wise, we have a 110 amp leisure battery, costs us about 100 quid. We have a 600 watt inverter, which also costs 100 quid, which allows us to do hair dryers on low settings, heaters to heat the van, around about 100 watt, 150 watt heaters, and also allow us to power a electric water heater in here, which does our electric shower, which I'll link up to a vlog in the top so you can see how that works. A few other things, but basically speaking, for 300 quid you can get 600 watts of power off an inverter, 110 amp leisure battery, these units and all the wiring and sockets and stuff you need. So 300 quid is going to easily sort out your electrical needs and supplies. Cool box in here, 30 quid from Halfords, so that's not expensive. Our table, which I won't bother getting, I'll just show you, you'll be able to see it in one of the links that I put up, was round about 50 quid. You get this nice rail that allows you to slide it along, and an attachment on the floor, and obviously the table itself, which is sat back on top of the tailgate at the moment. So that's kind of this area really. On kind of in regard with the electric, we also have a solar panel system, which I'll put a vlog up now, which you can look at. It's a 120 watt Moohoo solar power system, made by SunPower. The panels are, I think, they're about 22 watt efficient panels, so they're one of the better ones you can get. Now, that panel cost us about £120. It was a lot cheaper than it normally is because it had been damaged slightly in the warehouse. It was an Amazon warehouse special. It had a slight bend, which doesn't affect it. Still works fine, but it was about a third or half cheaper than they normally are. Generally speaking, for 120 quid, 150 quid, you can get a 120 watt flexible panel, stick it on the roof. Our inverter was about 50 quid. It's an MPPT inverter. That's all you really need for it. So we had to buy a bit of an extension for the wire, but for 200 quid you can get yourself 120 watts of solar power, which is going to keep our leisure battery charged and allow us to run things like the fridge when we're in a hot country, normally abroad, when we can get about 4 amps from that, or 3 amps kind of running from it roughly most of the day. Our shower, very simple system. I've got a vlog which I did last week for the shower, so I'll put the link up for that. Our shower system really only costs us about 50 quid. Works well. You can get a warm shower out of it. It's really budget and basic. If you fancy having a look at that, have a look now. That's about it really inside. A few other little things. Reversing camera I fitted, which is a top thing to fit to one of these vans. I've spent 15 years driving vans for work, transits and stuff, but when you're shopping in one of these, when you're parking it, parallel parking, and you're manoeuvring it, and every night you get back from work and you want to stick it in a parallel space outside your house, you just really want it easy. And if you've got a reverse camera, you can get in gaps that are leaving 2 foot, 1.5 foot in front and behind the van. You can really fit it in tight spaces. The head unit was already there, but the camera cost about 30 quid, and it was one of the best things already fitted to the van. Continuing outside, we have a Vermoose side awning rail, which is basically a copy of a Remo one, but costs you half the price. It's about 120 quid opposed to 220 quid. And I have a vlog for that as well, so I'll put that up. And the other thing is some steels. I put some slightly better, nicer steel wheels on it, which cost me about 220 quid, which is quite expensive steels, but they're the ones off the T32 and they are quite sought after. And they came with good tyres, and which is bonus because I needed to replace the tyres anyway. So that's roughly kind of the cost really. The next stage for me on the van would be to fit a swivel seat for the passenger seats, so that when we're away we have a bit more room to sit down. They generally cost about 200 quid, that swivel base. Definitely something I'll go looking at in the future to doing, hopefully before we go away next time, just to give us a bit more flexibility and space. Another thing as well, if you're going to have the windows fitted in the side, make sure you go for ones that open. Not necessarily all the way around, but specifically on the ones you're going to have the cooker by. For every litre of gas you burn, you give off about 750 millilitres of water vapour into the air. So you always want to be cooking with the window open to stop it getting so steamy. And then of course if you're boiling water as well, it's just going to add to it and it's just going to get a lot worse. So definitely go for a window that opens. That's just generally it really. Like I said, 300 quid is going to sort out most of your electric. Most of the money for these vans are in the bed and the kitchen units. Hopefully that will give you a kind of rough idea of how much it costs you. Most of the other small stuff we have in the van is just stuff we've kind of kept from when we used to go camping, like the chairs, obviously rugs, blankets. A lot of the cutlery and stuff can come from your house. Other things in these cupboards are just like the water containers, which cost like a tenner or something. They're not expensive at all. And like I say, if you're thinking of doing it, especially yourself, definitely go for it. It's one of the best things I've ever done, is convert one of these. Really nice to convert, nice to work on, and you also have that really nice satisfaction in knowing that you've done it yourself, you've created it yourself, and you made something that works. And it's very individual. Then you don't see many of them like it that are the same, although this layout is quite standardized, I will admit. But it also gives you the benefit of when you're weighing it, if something does go wrong, if something is a bit quirky and plays up occasionally, you generally know what it is. You generally know where to fix it because you've done it yourself. I know where every single electrical connection is in this, where all the joins are, where the potential weak points of it are going to be, because I've done it all myself. That means if I'm away in it, I can fix it really easily. Not that it goes wrong often, but it's just nice to have that peace of mind for you when you're away, that you can kind of work on it yourself. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you found it useful, the vlog, and hopefully it answers a few questions if anyone's kind of out for a bit of information about how much it costs to convert them. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, and I'll catch up with you in the future.